Welcome to the Lancet 177, and this week we are at another entity that is involved in Fiji sugar industry, and that is the Sugarcane Growers Fund. And today we are going to speak to the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Raj Sharma, who will tell us what the Sugarcane Growers Fund is about, what they do, and how do they assist in the sugar industry. Mr. Sharma, welcome to the program. Why is the Sugarcane Growers Fund important to the industry?
Thank you, Mr. Chand, and thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to come to this platform. Sugarcane Growers Fund plays a very important role when we look at the sugar industry. Since its inception from 1947 to up till now, we look at almost 77 or 78 years, it has played an important role for its establishment during the CSR time and until the deductions were made from the millers and as well as the farmers to stabilize the price and pay them where the price was low. So it had continued from 1948 to until 1959, and there were some awards by Dennings Award to make the deductions, and later on the millers pulled out their share. So it virtually indirectly remained the farmers' contributions. Later on, it moved to Ministry of Finance. From there, the Sugarcane Support Fund was established. After that, it became Sugarcane Growers Fund Authority. In 1984, it got its act, and as we know, we report to Ministry of Sugar, and through the Ministry of Sugar, we got the governance structure, the board is reported. We got our own act. The act it is only confined to the registered sugarcane farmers. So means it's like the farmers substitute as a bank, giving everything and anything for the farmers need basically on the cane farm. Means planting, harvesting, cultivation, rehabilitation of the farm, farmhouses, medical needs, you name it, educations and everything for the farmers. So over the years, I would say it had a small loans been granted to the farmers, but came 1st of January 1997, it was decentralized. So that's where we got all the district offices, Senganga, Lambasa. I also had an opportunity to start off in Lambasa in 1997. And from there, it had picked up to bring the services to the cane belt areas. Had it not been at that point in time, in the peaks of 98, 99, you would also know that banks were refraining from giving loans to the farmers because of the lease issues and the peak. Had it not been, would have been a very difficult situations for the farmers. So until now, it has continued to play a very significant role for the farmers and their farmers' life. In the importance of number of their children have gone through universities because of these institutions, and it had looked after the welfare of the farmers at very affordable interest rates and all those things, and played very important role.
That's a very interesting point you put up. With the dwindling cane production around Fiji, if the Growers Fund was not here, and the banks of course are not giving loans to farmers, what would be the status of the industry now if the Sugarcane Growers Fund wasn't there to assist farmers?
When we look at currently our loan portfolio, and also when we look at the categories of the loan, and when we look at annual approval loans, 60 to 70% of the loan is given towards farm cultivation, usage on the farm. About 25 to 30% is for their personal. Had it not been, farmers would have found more difficulty to keep the up status of the farm, which is right now. Whether it means farm itself, farm machineries, tractors, trucks, houses, would have been very difficult.
Nobody can point a finger to the Growers Fund and say, you are a useless entity.
Certainly not. When we go back and look at the legacies of some of the, not only the farmers' children, they are in overseas, they are here, they are holding the executive positions in the corporate world. They come back and acknowledge. In certain cases, Mr. Chan, I will say, 4 generations of the children that I have come across, that Growers Fund has provided them assistance for the education of the children. person where he approached for loans for a cancer of his wife. Despite he got a well-established business running in bar, the banks did not help him. We helped him, and up till now, the lady is surviving and they are doing well good. It's part of our corporate video that he has acknowledged. So many dimensions of contribution Sugarcane Growers Fund has paid it in the lives of the ordinary sugarcane farmers.
Mr. Sharma, tell me about the current client list you have. How many farmers do you have as clients, and what's the demographics in terms of age-wise?
I would say that right now we got over 5,000 accounts, 4,600 farmers that we have, 33 million portfolio we got of the cane growers, and another 4 million is a corporate loan that we have. Demographics, when we look at the age factors of the farmers, between 35 years to 55 is the most farmers we have. And we have farmers even to 100-year-old that we have. Over 18 is obviously. And when we look at by gender-wise, currently it's about 8% we got female, and the rest of 92 are the male farmers that we have. When you look at the other demographics of the portfolio, 33% of the portfolio is held by Northern Division, and the 66 is in the Western Division. Two major centers of the portfolio, of course, is Lambasa and Ba.
There's this notion that the young are not wanting to do sugarcane farming. Are you finding that to be true in the clients you have? Are the younger ones leaving the farm and the field?
There had been some trends, and the reality of the matter is we know, but when we go to the farmers, I mean, this is no doubt and no surprise. The farmers do tell us that this is our last generation to be on the cane farm, and this is, we as the policy makers need to be mindful. But having said that, we have also seen, Mr. Chan, after COVID, there have been a number of young people who have come back to buy farms. They are already working, like school teachers, police officers, DOs, civil servants. They are buying the farms, because one of the ways that we are trying to entice them is new farmer from the government policy that is coming in. And here at Growers Fund, we have also enabled them to get your FNPF money. Previously, it was not there. So the housing eligibility of that is also giving them. I give you a typical example. During the COVID time, they were aviation industries were down, and tourism. Some of the people have came back to buy farms between that time of 2021 and 2022. There have been a number of people from the tourism sector who have bought cane farms, and we have funded them.
When does the fund decide that a client is about to default, and what's the process you follow to get that person on board, or you move in to seize their property?
We have a very systematic approach with the new ICT system. Every day we can look at the arrears of the person. Every month we do like the banks do, look at their arrears. Actions that we take is we take it during the major cane payment time. So the first approach is, as soon as we get the first cane payment or the bigger cane payments, we look at the arrears and automatically a text message goes to them that your account is in arrears. They have to come and make arrangements. That's one approach. Then it follows with the letter giving them 14 days. After that, 30 days. In between, we also do a portfolio stress test where we look at every year. If your production is down by 20-25%, we need to go and visit them. What went wrong? And our people on the ground look at that. So that's one approach. The other of the administration that we follow is annually at least 70% minimum of the portfolio need to be reviewed. You look at their securities, you look at their arrears, you look at the insurance cover and all that. Now, when we talk about these arrears, we are very flexible to the farmers, because when you look at the cyclic payment of the cane system, cane harvested this year, you will get your last payment next year in October. So we give them an window of almost 2 years. We don't take any action. You are in arrears, we will go and ask you, help you even with more funds to keep on planting, restructure your accounts. When they are very serious in defaults over 2 years, we set them a demand. with the demand, whatever is the, normally in the banks you will find that you have to clear everything, entire debt. Here we got so much flexibilities with our farmers that you just pay 50% of the arrears amount. Your debt is 30,000. You are in arrears of 5,000. You only pay 2,500. We will give you an opportunity to rehabilitate and start moving. We also got another programs which says back to farm. If you have exited, you got an account over here not paying, we will allow you come back to the farm, reverse your interest, ask you to be back on the farm. Those sort of programs that we have.
At any given time, how many clients do you have to have with the fund to ensure that you are financially stable?
We need our operating cost. See how our, very good question, how we have structured ourselves is, whilst we are heavily 60% of our assets is in backed by cane industry, we need a minimum operating cost of around 1.3 to 1.4 million dollars. We make an interest rate of about 1.6 from the loans. So means our core business is lending. We need to have a I would say that out of our staff of 35, close to about 25 or 26 of them are in the core business. So we have to pay them office rental, which needs around the 1.3 million to 1.4 million. We get an interest of about 1.6 and 1.7. So that is sustainable. Plus, for our sustainability, there is a diversification. We got about 23 million or so. This is a public document because we give annual reports. These things are in bonds, term deposits, and other investments that we have done, inclusive of South Pacific Fertilizers being our subsidiary company. These investments income brings the surplus to us. How we have strategized right now is glad that you have asked that question. I think the new board that came in with the direction of Mr. Mahamji, we looked at how we can get the income from other sides and compensate to the farmers. And we are proud to say that is the whole intention that we had. We have recently acquired a property in the main street of Lotoka, the HFC building. What we have done, as soon as we have acquired, we have calculated how much is the rental that we will give. We have compensated to the farmers. You will note that our interest rate was 6% until December. From 1st of January, we have brought it down to 4.5%, which has an impact of about $500,000. It doesn't mean that we are getting $500,000 from that investment, but some level of interest is coming from there.
There was this argument that Sugarcane Growers Fund has a lot of money. You've mentioned 23 million held in bonds and other properties.
Right.
Why can't you give this money to FSC? That was one of the arguments that came for FSC to sustain itself. Is that a fair argument?
We are a trust fund governed by our act and also by, if they stuck up with all the requirements for the loans, they maintain certain loan facilities with us. If they maintain and it stuck up to all our policy guidelines, we would not hesitate to give it. We need a commercial business of that, provided it adds value to the industry, and currently they are our client.
I understand Sugarcane Growers Fund is putting out new initiatives for farmers in terms of medical, in terms of how they can sustain their families. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
See, currently we are running our loyalty program where it gets a discounts from the farmers where they do the patches. We have done it with Oceania Hospital and as well as with the Pacific Specialty. We are in talks with the insurance company locally to get a medical insurance for the farmers. The local insurance companies have given us a quote. It seems to be a bit expensive, so we are trying to negotiate with them. It has taken a bit of a time. Also, we intend to approach the government whether we can look at subsidies for the insurance premium, not only limited to the sugarcane farmers, but all the registered farmers of either you take it rice, copra, or where they supply. So that's a discussion, but we are certainly looking at affordable premium for the farmers. Currently, it comes to a range of around $350 to $400 per annum for an individual, which includes overseas treatment. So that's a thing we would like to see whether we compensate some of it or whether the farmers can pay that. That's a level. Now you will also note, Mr. Chand, that certain overseas treatments could now be done locally, whether you take SPAN or take this private hospital. So we approaching these insurance companies whether the premium could be cheaper when they don't have to travel overseas. So those are the discussions that we are doing. As far as the insurance is concerned, we're also looking at some of the development partners have come forward, such as ADB and others, to whether they can help us to compensate certain of the house insurance, inclusive of cyclone covers. Local insurance companies of Tawa and Sun Insurance provide those sort of covers without engineer certificate. So we're trying to get the best rate for the farmers.
Mr. Sharma will take a short break and continue the discussion on the other side. Welcome back, and today we are talking to Mr. Raj Sharma, the CEO of Sugarcane Growers Fund. Mr. Sharma, let's continue the discussion, and in this second segment, let me first ask you, as a farmer, as somebody is involved in the sugar industry, what are your thoughts on the biggest obstacles facing the sugar industry currently?
To the sugar industry, or we say for the agriculture sector as a whole, is the manpower on the ground. Old age farmers is one thing, is one of the biggest ones. Then we look at, when we come back to the sugar, I think the cost of production, it has, and to some extent the lease renewals. These are three critical things that I see as a obstacle. But there are two beauty parts of sugar industry too. You do not have to hunt for a market. You already got, you just need to harvest and send it to FSC. And the crop is quite resilient. No matter you get cyclones or whatever, you will still get something out of it. So that's the thing, but it does have obstacles of aged farmers, lease premiums, high production cost, and lack of manpower on the ground.
You have to work hand in hand with others in the industry, Sugarcane Growers Council, Fiji Sugar Corporation. How important is this collaboration, and what should be that level of collaboration that should be taking place to turn the industry around?
I think it needs a political will from up, which is there from the minister, and a deep engagement between all the stakeholders. So we see it is there, but it needs to improve on a very focused what we want to achieve and to work together to get that results.
Mm-hmm. How often do you consult with FSC, if you have anything to consult? Is it as and when needed, or is it there is a monthly?
There is a regular meetings been called by ministry, or as and when required by any point in time. I can pick up a phone and call the CEO and get it done, and that applies to all the CEOs. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You mentioned about natural disasters and how the Growers Fund steps in to assist farmers.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate if you have any special packages for farmers in terms of assisting them during a natural disaster or a flood that has come and hit them?
We do have very much, there is a special rehabilitation package that is to be activated within 1 or 2 days time, looking at the assessment. There is no application fees for these sort of loans. The interest rate could be as low as 3% or 4%. They can be given repayment holidays for these. We have done that during Winston time. We have done that during TCSA time. Long back, it was a Kina loan. Sometimes it is allowed that you pay interest only and the principals later on. So those sort of packages that we have for the farmers. Even on the individual cases, if there is a flood or there is hurricanes, not severe, we look at each of the cases on their own. In case of natural disasters, to give them repayment holidays. And just on the same topic, just wanted to add, we also experienced that farmers have been caned off season. That is beyond their control too. So we allow them flexibilities to reduce their interest rate to around 3.1% and give them a repayment holiday. So those set of flexibilities we have for the farmers.
If a new farmer is wanting to enter the sugar industry, if he or she comes to you today, what do you offer them in terms of assisting them, how you can assist them?
New farmers, if they want to buy a farm, one thing is that we just assess their loans of basically they may be school teachers who will manage the farms and all that. We need a contribution minimum of 10% from them, and some cases 20% from them to start off. the farm. If they are totally new farmers and they form under the Ministry of Program, there is also a collaborative approach with Sugar Research and FSC to take them through training and field works and all that that we provide together.
In times of cane payments, these calls made that there should be no deductions from gross fund. What measures do you take into account to say, yes, we will not make any deductions in this cane payment?
Normally, we look at if the accounts are good performing accounts, we take that call and make no deductions. But they are in default accounts, we deduct it, but if they want it, we refund on a case by case. Also, there have been opportunities that certain segment of the people want no deductions, but there are some who want deductions. So we also give them an opportunity. If we have not deducted, they want to pay it back, most welcome to do so.
When the gross fund moves into seize a property, what is the message the fund gives to that farmer? That why is this being done?
That will be the last resort. We do not want to evict the farmer. We do not want the farmer's farm to be possessed. So that is the last one. That level, when they have continuously defaulted the arrangement, defaulted in the sense we allow them a flexibility, we give them a receipt funding for them, and when they default and take ignorance to have their workout program failed, then we take it. It gives a message across, we are a trust fund. This is someone else's money and you have to honor the commitments that you have made. We do have a list of farmers, and these are mostly the legacy debts of years of 2011, 12, 13 farmers who are there, that we try to rehabilitate them, give them an opportunity. In the worst case, we waive completely the interest. In some cases, if they are really committed, we can consider further waiver to them. We do that.
Are you able to tell me how many property seizures you did last year?
I think we called up a mortgagee sale of around 15 to 16 farms. Also, it is a challenge for us. Close to 48 to 50% would have been sold, the rest is not. So we have to continue to re-advertise them, or after that process, in terms of the policy, we'll have to make a private sale. So in advertisements also comes a private sale. The other thing, Mr. Chand, is a fiduciary duty for us. Whilst we are trying to call up the mortgagee sale and sell it, we must act in the utmost good faith to get the maximum price for the outgoing person, otherwise he can sue us. So we follow all that process. The other part of our tenders are, when we call up the tenders close. In our advertisement, it also mentions the date when the tenders will be open. So some of the time the farmers come and witness the opening of tenders. The people who have bid it, they also come at that particular day to witness. So we are very transparent. After we have done that, we have awarded. The person whose farm has been put on mortgagee sale, we again write to him telling him that these are the tenders we have received. We are again giving you 7 days notice. Should you fail, then we'll offer this. So that's a level that we go to.
So when the new owner takes over, wants to has paid, and the farmer who's exiting also gets whatever is left.
Yes, he gets the surplus money with full statement of account, how it has been done, and he gets that.
Are you able to tell me how many demand notice you have currently against farmers?
At the moment, I would say that there are about 15 to 20 demand notices floating for the farmers to comply with.
Given your experience, do you think our farmers have the financial know-how? Do they know how to manage their money, given that they've been in the industry for so long?
I think that is a point that is lacking. We have tried to bring up that financial literacy, and it's also our duty that we'll try to do more of that. Your basic concept of what is your income, how much we spend, what should be your priorities, and doing that. And in view of that, whether it can be your next question, what we are doing next. So just to add, there is a UNCDF funding has been provided recently. We are still to do official launching. We're looking at special social security savings scheme for our farmers. We're looking at some modification to our loan products, and even technology driven to ride on the platform of mobile wallets, giving them a small overdraft facilities rather than they coming over here time and again for $500, $2,000 loan. We will try to have some strict measures to have these emergency loans for them. So those are the levels of things that we are doing. At the moment, we have call expression from all the banks who can give the best rate for our farmers, and even the unit trust institutions, whether they can give us a best rates for them, and hopefully we should be making some announcement down the line of April or May on that.
Why is it then important for farmers to be financially literate?
So that they know where to spend the money, how much they expect, what is the risk of not getting your production what you expected. We do not want our farmers to be indebted for good. We want to have their financial liberalization. They have their own decisions to make, and they do not depend only on borrowing. So which basically means if you have a land, you are quite rich. That's the way it should be. I mean, grow your own crop, diversify yourself. There are some hardworking farmers. Believe you me, we got $33 million portfolio. Annually, we receive 40 million of cane farmers' money, 40. 9 million we take it in repayment. 33 million we give it out to the farmers. We give it out to the farmers. Now that 33 million, if annually we're trying to do this product, they just save 10%, 3 million. Over the 5 years, you will have 15 million plus the interest. And if you continue to save that much for your rainy days, you will cut down your loans over here. That's a level that we want to do.
Mr. Sharma, we'll take another break. Welcome back, and today we are talking to the CEO of Sugarcane Growers Fund, Mr. Raj Sharma. Mr. Sharma, let me ask you this question. Are the farmers being recognized for their hard work in terms of awards or incentives that can be given to them to show that, yes, this is what you've done and this is the reward you are getting?
Thank you. I think when we look at the programs that has been run by ministry, with the minister, you will see the productive farmers have got a different rate. There is a special cane payment that has come to the farmers who have harvested more cane. They get more money with the increased production. So that is one. The other one is we have looked at, when you look at our program, is if you harvested green cane, 75% of the green cane, if you have harvested, your interest rate is 4%. If you got less than 75% green cane, you will be at 4.5%. Actually, when this thing started, when we had 6%. So that is one. Now the rest of the things that we are looking at to recognize the farmers or bring up the things is this year we are also looking at to look at the review of our act, Sugarcane Growers Fund Act. It is a call made by in the parliament. You would have noticed the ministry has given us an approval to start the exercise. In that we are looking at to strengthen the governance of the fund as a trust fund, and also look at a bit of a flexibility in our investments and loans. There are other programs that we are looking at. Is one is from the Growers Fund side is I think the minister has endorsed that will be launching with the inclusiveness of all the stakeholders. There is a program to get the Sugarcane Farmers Award. We're planning to get that rolling soon, hopefully by April or May, to be launched, and then we're looking at those awards to come in by next year. That's one. The other one is we, as part of our corporate social responsibility, you will also note that Sugarcane Growers Fund is non-taxable institution. So we were able to convince the board to form the Sugar Industry Foundation run by Growers Fund. And we have obtained some legal opinions, so got a clearance from the minister yesterday because it required ministerial approval, and we may have to go to the cabinet on that, that we want to form a foundation. certain money has been pledged by growers fund towards that, and they have been donor agencies. I'm give you an example of just this FARC competition we had. In one night, we through the sponsors we got about $6,500 net money. This money goes towards the community, wheelchairs, bent houses, medicals, and whatever. We're trying to do that. We have talked about insurance, savings, and all those things that we plan to do for the farmers. I think the others, one of is um, years back, about 2 years back, ADB has done a research on us and found a gap analysis of whether we can be converted into a MSME bank. We will still working on it, but we are just mindful of that there are many hands up, they want to set up a bank. So we just have to see whether it will be feasible for us to know, but we intend to expand ourselves. So these are certain things that we're bringing in for the benefit of the farmers. Our industry foundation, farmers recognitions, savings scheme, these are working train. Hopefully we can wrap these things up within the year. So a lot of things are there.
And why is it important for an entity like yours or even FSC or the Growers Council that they should be farmer friendly?
Because of them we are here, otherwise we will not exist. Most important for us is we must have a reach, we must listen to the farmers and have that empathetic approach to them. Majority of the farmers would have my mobile numbers. In the statements that we send it to them, it's quoted that my mobile contact is there, and I can be reached by them anytime. Even at night time they call us to solve the matter for them, so I'm always there.
There's this also likelihood of farmers selling off their farmland for financial gain, for commercial purposes, and moving out. Are you facing that problem? And if that is happening, what threat is being posed by this when farmers are selling off their land to commercial businesses?
I think this is a challenge for us, and this cannot be avoided. It is happening in all over the world. We took it to the authorities. We took it to TLTB. By the way, we got a very good relationship with TLTB and Mr. Nata. So we have spoken to them, and even with Lands Department, mostly to do with the native leases. They intend to take it after being lease term expired for the maximum income for the landowners. Normal agriculture, they are saying, is not giving them that income, but we have been pursuing to them to retain the good land area. In the event these farmers are not given that land, obviously they will get 99-year residential lot, but we have been asking TLTB that they should be given a substitute land for agriculture purpose.
And is TLTB listening to you?
Yes, very much listening to us. There were a number of leases where the landowners have said no. They have gone ahead. We sat down together with TLTB, and the leases have been renewed. And I must thank TLTB in that. We got a very good relationship with them.
What are some high-level policy decisions that the government has to make tomorrow to ensure that the sugar industry turns around quickly?
Right sizing the sugar industry, that's one. How much do we want to make it sustainable by itself? Right sizing. Look at mechanization, reverse urbanization. People who are in squatter settlements in Suva, give them a package to bring them back. These are some of the things that will help us, not only for sugar, but for the agricultural sector too, to do that. So long-term leases, reverse urbanization, give upfront capital funding for them to help these things.
You have a new board in place. How have they been performing?
Very good. I would say very good. Past board was also good. This one is very good. I would thank the past board and as well as the current board. Very supportive of the intent that we went to do. Looking at justifying and all those things have been very good.
Why do you think it's important to have people on the board who understand the sugar industry?
They need to have a fit and proper to know the business, look at it as to how it is to be run, and also be prudent of their duties and responsibilities, being accountable, because it's a trust fund. and it's a government entity. That's why it is quite important to play the role to make it sustainable.
Uh, if someone asks you why is your chairman New Zealand based and not in Fiji, is that a good question to ask, or is it?
I think initially I would have felt the same with other board people being appointed, but I felt distance is not a matter. He's also a cane farmer. He got a cane farm in Nene. And now with the technology driven, he can be reached at any time. I would also like to make a comment over here. The fund is not paying for his any travel expenses. So far, for 1 year, not even a single airfares that we would have paid for Mr. Bhamji to come over here. He has been paying on his own. As terms of the policy, we requested to be paid, and he has turned it down. And in fact, he's not also taking any board allowances. All his board allowances would go to a local charity organization. So I feel there are certain people within the government entities, they are not there for money, but they would like to give it back to the country. That's what I feel.
With your vast experience in the banking sector and in the sugar industry, what motivates you each morning when you come to work?
I would have about 38 years of career in the banking and agricultural sector. I always put the country first and the people, and what we have to each day give best at our table that will benefit the ordinary people that touches their life.
Mm-hmm. And what shapes your thoughts in the morning, and what do you tell your staff in terms of how should they be treating the farmers?
Listen to them, put yourself in their shoes, and I think I would say, Anish, that I got a very good team, and I'm blessed to have very dynamic team with me of the work that we want to do. There are always rewards and also discipline for the people that we play, and the thing is that treat every farmer that you are yourself a farmer, and that's happening across.
With what you have told us, your experience, your ability to talk to farmers, to be on the ground, eventually, do you have political aspirations?
Thank you. No. I think many people would have thought. I can see that I can do better being outside of a parliament than to be here. One thing I must say, previous government, even the current government, I respect. Even the current Prime Minister, one-to-one emails and communications, that gives a lot of aspiration with God's grace for me to do better. And I thank him and as well as everyone. So there is no need to go to political profession.
Just one final question. Not many people know that you are also chairman of Fiji Rice Limited. Is there any status of the company you can provide before we end this conversation?
The company is doing quite well with Fiji Rice and also with food processors too. Both the companies are doing quite well. I would say the production has increased, and it's going to, this year we expect to be another historical year for us in terms of the production, about 1,800 tons or so. And we are investing heavily into ICT to make it computerized in Raketi. And for the upgrades of the mill, we are approaching the government, not for operation of us, but come up with new incentive for the farmers. There is a whole list of new areas of rice being planted in Tailevu, Savu Savu, Yoreki areas, and we got a mill here in Ba. So from previously from this side, we would only take about 50 to 80 tons of rice. This year we expect about 300 tons of rice. We are also looking at little bit of blending and exporting certainly at least 20% of our rice.
Mr. Sharma, thank you very much for speaking with us, and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.